Love is when you have butterflies, when there's fireworks, boom, boom, everywhere. And you're like, when you kiss, you feel like you're flying.
Hi, I'm Leanna.
And I'm Grace. Welcome to another episode of Pillow Talk, where we talk all things on relationship, sex, whatever questions that you have about your love life.
Yes, and if you have any questions, be sure to comment them down below.
Yes.
So today we have with us Rozy Khalid once again from The Mind.
So thank you so much, guys, for sending in your questions. Because you guys were actually sending all these questions. Hey, likely, I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 8 years, ever since high school. I love him, but at the same time, I'm not sure if he's the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with, simply because I don't feel the sparks anymore. But I don't want to let him go because he treats me right.
Is it normal to still have doubts even after being so long in the relationship and you can't find faults?
There are a lot of cases where people do fall out of love. There are also people who feel like there are no more sparks and for no reason, and you feel like your relationship has been quite stagnant for a while.
First of all, we need to address, what is love anyways?
That's a big question, yeah.
Like people say, love is when you have butterflies, when there's fireworks, boom, boom, everywhere. And you're like, when you kiss, you feel like you're flying.
Or when you kiss and then your heel goes up.
Okay, is love really that?
I think for human beings, whenever there's something new, we actually get excited about it.
Yeah.
So if you're in an 8-year relationship where there's nothing new, of course you're gonna feel like it's very boring and it's very stagnant. And then like 8 years in and you see someone else who treats you differently.
Yeah, even though it's not nice, even though that person's like a little bit cocky, you kind of feel attracted to that.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's like a lot of cases probably. Yeah.
But you are getting a certain kind of attraction from that person. People do get quite complacent in relationships. Everything becomes more functional. You do the dishes, I do the cooking.
Yeah,
and
it becomes a routine.
The key is to talk to your partner what you want. Then that's very important because again, they're not mind readers.
Like the viewer was saying that he treats me right. Could it be that sometimes after being in a relationship for so long, you take things for granted?
I think we all have our needs. I think what's very, very important that we have to take note of is that in long-term relationships, especially long-term relationships, people don't stay the same. We change. That means our needs may change too. What we want at that particular period of our life may be different than what we wanted before.
Correct.
So previously, I would really like it if, say for example, my boyfriend brought me for movies. But being married, I would really like it if my husband does the dishes. That would be really romantic of him to, clean the house for me.
Right.
Yes, needs is important to understand what your needs are, what your partner needs are, and to understand if there's any changes, to talk about it. Be shameless and ask lah.
So what can you and your partner do to spice things up?
That really depends on the couple actually. If I think skydiving spice things up for me, another couple might think they might get a heart attack by doing that.
How do you communicate to your partner without hurting their feelings?
Yeah, I think conflicts are always going to be there because there are always going to be differences, but how you approach the matter, like you can resolve the conflict without hurting or intentionally hurting your partner.
That's really important.
I think if you still have questions about whether he's the one moving in, just reassure you I can see my life with this person living together.
But he's the one also is a very subjective term. So to me, maybe this is my definition of he's the one, but your he's the one has a different definition.
Okay.
Right?
Speaking of escalating things, taking things to a different level in a relationship, what if he proposes to you, but you just can't accept it yet? You're not ready, or you just don't think that he's the one?
It can be, I never believed in marriage. It can be marriage might ruin everything. So all this irrational thought or of certain beliefs that you have of marriage, you probably think he's a good partner but may not be a good father, or
so a lot of factors.
So many.
What if you know that he's not the one? You are hanging on to him because you're
afraid of losing him.
You're afraid that what if you let him go and then you end up single for the rest of your life?
Or end up realizing that he's actually
the one that got away.
Then I think you're in for the wrong reason, because then you're in that relationship because you don't want to be lonely. Because I have seen couples where
Yeah.
I would ask the partner, what does he mean to you? Some people would just say companionship.
You know, it's not really working out, but then you can't just let them go like that because imagining them with someone else just freaks you out. Like, no.
How do you feel when you see this person with another girl?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
What if you get like broken or?
Okay, you see him with another girl, and you're like, I miss him back.
If he's with someone else, does it mean that he no longer thinks about you? Does it mean he's moved on and you don't want that because you feel that he should be, you know, still
you.
thinking about you? So it doesn't have to be with you. So that could be one reason. Because sometimes you might feel like, hey, but I thought I was important to you. Like, how do you just move on like that?
What if you have doubts about your relationship? What are the biggest signs you can, identify that you don't love him anymore?
You keep finding faults. That would be one.
Okay.
If you keep getting agitated and pissy for no reason and there's something going on there, people expect love to be something that you feel all the time.
Right.
I don't think that's very realistic, guys. I mean, that only happens in fairy tales and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're talking about a long-term relationship, it's so tiring to feel that all the time because love does consume a bit of energy. That excitement, the joy.
Are your sparks real?
The sparks are real to some people, but people fall in love differently. There are people who never had that spark in the beginning, and they became friends first, and then suddenly one day the spark just came.
You were saying earlier, like, relationship is hard work. A lot of people don't see that. They kind of feel like once you're out of love,
Or when you start arguing, you feel like, oh, okay, but the perfect one wouldn't be having this type of argument.
Yes.
So they leave the relationship. Maybe it's the fact that we have this idea that the notion that there's so many others out there. So you know what? This isn't working out.
especially with so many
Next
apps
one.
for you to use.
But I would say like the one is not necessarily Mr. Perfect. I think the whole idea of perfect is very misleading. The idea of the one should be a person that you made that choice to accept this person together with his imperfections. Finding the one is not as easy as having a list of things
list?
like
Oh
going good,
my
going
God.
to the
Does he have this?
grocery.
A lot of people say
Possible.
it's unrealistic to have a list.
No,
like
of
sometimes your
course
list is
not.
unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Of course not.
Yeah.
When I met my husband, all that entire list just went away. Where did that list go?
So, any last advice for
Yeah.
her?
I don't think you should find the one. You should make the one.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, why aren't you clapping?
How do we make the one? They're always saying, oh, you shouldn't go into a relationship expecting to change a person.
Oh no, you shouldn't. So making the one, making the one,
Making.
could also mean accepting his flaws. Like, you're not gonna find a perfect guy, and it's up to you whether you're gonna accept that. So there are things where it's a huge no-no to you, then it's okay. Just cancel that off.
Thank you. Next.
Next, yeah. But there are people, there are certain characteristics or traits that it's okay, yeah, I can deal with this. It's not too bad. You will never get it perfect, never. It's about accepting,
Accepting, yeah.
and just being okay with it.
That's like the key point.
Yeah.
Being able to accept.
Make the one.
Yeah, make the one. Don't look for the one.
Yeah. Let us know, how did you find out that he's the one at the comments section down below. And if you have any questions, you can also ask
Please,
us.
yeah, just ask us because we're legit now. And I
Okay.
hope you guys find your,
The one.
The one.
And if you still have questions, just go to www.likely.com.my and we'll see you next week. Bye.